conversation is for existing members and mortgage bankers, mortgage brokers who are thinking about getting involved with the Hero Benefits Network. But my promise to you today, and I hope you'll hold me accountable for this, is to leave with at least one certain item that you and I can do together with Devin in your local market that will make an impact on transaction volume. That's my commitment to you. We've got over $10 million curated to give away on 2,500 transactions during the 2025 calendar year. We think that's a projection that is realistic if we can get our mortgage bankers, our realtors, and our title companies to do the work. And that is an ugly ass 4-letter word in the real estate and mortgage business. Nobody likes to actually do the physical work. So if you're one of those few people that I meet during a calendar year that don't mind work, we're going to be giving away $5,000 down payment assistance to essential employees and first responders and veterans. And if you stick with us, we're going to learn how to give away relocation grants. Now, the relocation grants are absolutely listing magnets for our realtors. They go out and talk to a buy owner and expired, a farming client or sphere of influence friend, and like that one realtor up in the Northeast right now, I think she's on her 4th Hero transaction since she joined the group. And we're talking about just giving away money. We talk about this all the time. The easiest job in real estate is just giving away money. I'm going to try to keep this really concise today. Then we're going to open it up to dialogue as much or as little as you want. I'm going to give my cell phone number. I'm going to give my email address. I'm going to give my whole life to support you if you believe what we believe. We're going to go over our beliefs, conviction, and commitment first. We're going to slide into the mortgage mathematics, some measurable metrics that we can lean on in our relationship. We're going to call this key to coaching because we're going to be moving the needle of production between now and the 12 weeks that follow this morning. We're going to switch gears at 10:20 to talk about actionable realtor referred purchase opportunities for our mortgage partners and sustainable realtor relationships. And then obviously at 10:30, we're going to flirt with the exclusive zip codes and counties that are not required to do any business with Hero Benefits Network. Nobody needs to buy a zip code. Nobody needs to buy a county. Nobody needs to buy a state. We can all start to schedule our initial realtor certifications and lunch and learns around our communities without even a zip code or a county or a state if you want to. You also have the opportunity to nominate your own title agency. So we're going to cover all that stuff. Devin Pinches is membership director at Hero Benefits Network. Randy Nemiroff is the executive director, national sales director, and also the chief connection officer in my book because he's the one who brought the standalone organization to us. He's the one who brought 80 million veterans to us. He's the one who brings cops and firefighters and teachers from their unions and their HR directors on national scale. And Randy Nemiroff has been successful in generating leads to our realtors real time. I never thought it was possible, but Randy is producing leads right now. They come across my desk 2 and 3 and 4 a day, which may sound small in a national landscape, but hey, we only started in March of 2024. And here we are in November of 2024 with leads already flowing in free. We don't pay anything for them. They're just leads that come from our teachers, firefighters, first responders, and veterans. Carrie is the operations director for Hero Benefits Network. You'll meet her during the certifications. And my name is Russ Fitzpatrick. I'm 38 years selling real estate full time and still run a brokerage in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And I still manage the metrics. What we focus on with you every week is, do you know the factor? Can you calculate a down payment assistance transaction on behalf of your realtors that refer you business? Let's focus on that. Realtors are the promotional vehicle. We are the support vehicle, and you are the fulfillment vehicle, right? Yes, you can go out and court teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officers, veterans. You can go visit the American Legion. You can go visit the VFW. You can go visit the teachers union, but that's not your purpose. Your purpose is to serve realtors, 40, 50, 60, 70 realtors in your community that understand how the purchase down payment assistance factor works. And this is probably the most confusing piece of equipment that anybody's ever done. And it frustrates mortgage bankers. It is curious to mortgage bankers. But I want to just tell you this one last time. Henry Ford was asked, you know, what would you do if the automobile industry went away? And he said, that's easy. I'd find a unique human need and I'd meet it. So you're talking about a billionaire at that point in the American economy, and like a billionaire would be today, right? Hundreds of millions of dollars. And he said, I would just find a unique human need and I would fill that need. But that's so confusing to people who are not entrepreneurial by nature, because they say things like, wait a minute, I just need more leads. I just need more leads. I just need more qualified consumers. But they don't realize that they need the realtors, the realtor referred purchase business that brings in these sellers. So when I tell a mortgage banker that we're going to court listing agents, that we're going to certify the top listing agent in Montgomery County, that we're going to certify the top listing agent in Tallahassee, we're going to certify the top listing agents in Dade County, Broward County, so that they can offer relocation grants to their essential employees, that we're going to be empowering human resources directors from across the country to promote our relocation grants to their candidates. I was on the phone this morning with a principal, and she said she's bringing this to all of her career fests and her interviews to explain that homeownership affordability can be helped with relocation grants if they want to come to work for her school board. So, you know, our first belief on this page is they freaking deserve it. Okay? That's the first premise that we allocate in this relationship. If I'm an MLO and I can carve off 25 bips from my comp, let's say I'm comped out at 125, but on the hero stuff, I have to do a 100 basis points bucket so that 25 basis points goes to the hero. If I unilaterally decide that as an organization, if I unilaterally pick that I believe to back the blue is a good thing, that I believe to back the red and the firefighters is a good thing, if I believe to back the teachers is a good thing, then I just create a bucket, comp bucket, called heroes. And inside of that comp bucket, I make 100 instead of a 125. Now, if I'm a mortgage broker, and I typically have 200 bips on a file, I can go ahead and carve out 25 bips for that homeowner. Now, Cross Country has a statewide relationship with us in Connecticut, I believe it is, and they carve out a fixed amount for every transaction because corporate and branch and MLO can all contribute, and it's a lesser painful thing for the MLO. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're still talking about a 25 basis points hit to the mortgage banker, but we believe that that's a pretty fantastic window of opportunity for you to build relationships with realtors. So I'm going to stop here and give you your first call to action for Key to Coaching at 10 a.m. And that if you haven't been certified yet, just get certified. That's all you need to do here today. And then the second call to action, and that's free, by the way, just get certified before Thanksgiving. That's absolutely free. And then we can go ahead and schedule, and I'm talking to every existing certified mortgage banker on the call today. We want to host our first realtor-facing event in December. December is notoriously fun to host happy hours, brunch events, breakfast events, lunch hours, even a wine tasting. And if you're not committed to meeting 40, 50, 60 realtors in December, I can't help you. That's what we're going to do together. That's what Key to Coaching is we're going to meet realtors that want to do this job in December. So the formula, the metrics formula, it's vital that you understand it and once and for all live it, right? We want one title company per state. We want one mortgage banker per county. That's my goal. There's nothing more that I want than one title company per state with a few mortgage bankers in that state that have exclusive geographic counties. And I'm willing to work with you towards that. You start with, let's just pretend you're an MLO. You start without a zip code, but you start to certify realtors with us. And then you realize, holy shit, 10 realtors just got certified and I could be the exclusive realtor for those 10. I'm going to take a county. And that's how it happens. We don't put the cart before the horse. We put the horse of production before the cart, right? We don't want you buying zip codes in states until you've built your network. And the network is the realtors, okay? Owning a zip code, owning exclusive territories within your community. So we're going to be serving human resources directors, police and fire chiefs, principals with their employment needs. So this is the formula. This is the model. And let's talk about our belief system for just a few minutes. And you can take this to the bank. I'm going to stand up for this for the rest of my life. You're lucky because I'm already 56, so it's probably only going to be a few more years. 25 bips pledged on closed funded transactions. That's the fact. Okay. And if right now, at this point in the conversation, you're not willing to pledge 25 basis points to a teacher, then you're not a good fit for us. So take it to the bank. That's the pledge. Essential Employee Relocation Division is what we're offering to realtors so that they understand that they can bring an essential employee through our relocation company and they can augment the purchasing power of that COP by 0.0115, or if they're listing a house for 0.075 relocation grant, and then pick up the 0.0115 on the purchase. So that's not a confusing entity for me. So as we're talking about our belief system, and we're talking about what you can take to the bank, I'll tell you this. No matter who was elected president, the problem with police officers, the problem with law enforcement officers was going to get fixed. It's just going to get fixed faster under the GOP. Defund the police for good was not a good idea. And Back the Blue replaces defund the police. So I don't need to know your political affiliations, but I do need to know your conviction about cops. If you think that 2% of mischievous cops or 0.0001% of violent cops make up the entirety of the police force, then you're not in the right place, okay? The 0.02% of problem cops and the 0.000001% of violent cops is not a reason to defund our law enforcement officers nationwide, okay? Veterans deserve it because of obvious reasons. Firefighters and EMT deserve it. Teachers deserve it. And last but not least, first responders deserve it. Now, this is where our beliefs may come together. March of 2025, spring of 2025. Let's just play the videotape to there. And let's say that we all believe these same things. Let's say you're online today and you believe 25 bips is cool. You believe that essential employees relocation is cool. So they get some down payment assistant pledges. They get some relocation grant pledges. It's not that confusing. You believe the Back the Blue is going to replace defund the police for good. You believe that veterans and firefighters and teachers deserve it and first responders deserve it. Now what you have to understand, and here's the guess, strictly a guess, but I believe it. The Fed and the incoming president-elect, have explained to the American people in multiple varieties of ways that they intend a low sixes, high fives mortgage market in the spring. And they think that that's going to stimulate transaction. Now, Kamala believed that giving $25,000 to buyers was the way to help the economy. I don't want to talk politics, but I want to talk stupid. If you want to entice more buyers into a market that's already saturated with buyers and has no sellers, then you're an idiot. You don't have any economic smarts. You just don't. And I think the reason she didn't get elected is because she brought up two things. Let's give $25,000 to buyers. So everyone went, holy shit, she's dumb. And let's give $6,000 cash to anybody that has a baby. Well, if you know anything about that, you're just going to want to have babies. If you're a drug addict in Detroit, if you're a drug addict in Portland, you're like, honey, let's have a baby. We get $6,000. I mean, it's the absolute wrong way to stimulate recovery, right? You don't give money to buyers when there's too many buyers. You have to find ways to give money to sellers. So we've created the relocation grant for listings. And I think your realtors are going to appreciate something different to talk to their sellers about rather than CMAs and recipe cards. So if you believe what we believe, you're preparing for a March 2025 uptick. So now let's look at pay dirt as March 2025, and let's understand what we are proposing specifically. We want you to collaborate with realtors and title companies towards fulfillment in your market. We don't want you to necessarily be out soliciting heroes as much as we want you to be soliciting realtors, because realtors are going to make up the referral network for you inside of Hero Benefits Network. But they're also going to fulfill your realtor purchase business in March, April, and May, and June, because any of the relationship that you create between now and March are going to pay dividends in March when interest rates are in the 5s again or in the low 6s. So what we want to focus on as a call to action for you, and this is starting the metrics conversation, is we want you to build a 4-legged stool, and that the HBN one-stop shop operates in your market. So it's no longer, hi, my name is Bernice from Fairway Home Loans or Fairway Funding. Hey, my name's Kevin from PRMG. Hey, my name's Bob from Cross Country. No, it's not. That's not what this division represents. This division represents, hi, my name is Bernice from the Hero Benefits Network. Hi, my name is Kevin from the Hero Benefits Network, so that the 4-legged stool becomes you as the mortgage banker doing mortgage fulfillment, real estate doing their fulfillment, title doing their fulfillment, and Hero Benefits Network helping you establish that 4-legged one-stop shop. So very specific here, no bullshit. Let's target 400 realtors. Okay, you can go to Model Match, you can go to CoreLogics, you can go to the MLS. You can go to Realtor.com. You can go to, you can ask Devin if she has any data for your community. And I don't know. I know we've bought many, many lists, and we delineate our lists by top producers and listing agents, and we separate out listing agents from buyer's agents. And we really do promote this to listing agents because relocation grants help. But Hero Benefits Network, nonprofit down payment assistance, and reload becomes what we talk about inside of this division, right? So the metrics start to build off of this. So on this page right now, if we did a lunch and learn in December, and let's just say cumulative, we had 10 realtors show up in December. At the holidays, they didn't come in droves, 2 top producers and eight losers showed up. So we got 2 realtors that showed up that can walk and chew gum at the same time in December. And then in January, we host one on business planning and this essential employee relocation and Hero Benefits. And, 15 realtors show up in January. And out of that group, 10 of them are losers, but 5 of them are real realtors, that really showed up. And then in February, we have about 20 show up because you've been doing it for a while and you're getting better at it. And Hero's helping you, and your title company's helping you, and your real estate people are helping you. And they're saying, hey, let's certify some more people in February. And lo and behold, 20 people show up in February, 15 losers and 5 winners. All right. What you've done with us is cumulatively certified 40 of your 400 realtors, 10% penetration by March. And I'm going to show you how this metrics works out in the next segment of Hero Benefits Network key to coaching. Let's take just a moment and digest that, and know that my only call to action for any mortgage banker that's on here today is make sure you're certified, and then let's start to plan our realtor facing event in December. Doesn't have to cost you money. You can do it at a title company. You can do it at La Quinta. You could do it at a Marriott. You could do it at the Board of Realty, which they love because we're a nonprofit. One more time. Big hello here. Approach the board as a nonprofit. Don't approach the board as RE/MAX. Approach the board as a nonprofit. Don't approach the board as AndyMac. Don't approach the board as a realtor or a mortgage banker. Approach the board as HBN. It will go better. So every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday for the rest of my life, we're doing Mortgage Mondays, Tuesdays with title, and Wednesdays with realtors. But essentially all we're trying to teach you is to approach your prospects from the nonprofit rather than from the for-profit real estate mortgage or title business, and start to explain that, my passion and purpose in life is the Hero Benefits Network, but my profession is that I work for Cross Country. My profession is that I work for AndyMac, but my purpose and my passion is that I work for Hero Benefits Network. So Hero Benefits Network is why I'm visiting you at the Board of Realty today. All right, let's take a break here and start to switch gears at 10:20 towards managing mortgage mathematics, the metrics. Old buddy of mine used to say, if it can't be measured, it can't be managed. If it can't be measured, it can't be managed. And why I like that so much is because with that individual and running his mortgage company and his lead gen platform for 14 years, we learned and we proved for 14 years that you and your organization will spend more than 25 bips before you close a transaction if you use Zillow, if you use Realtor.com, and if you use LendingTree. We proved it. 14 years of data. We also proved that broker-wide MSAs and desk rentals cost more than 25 bips. That over the course of an annual relationship and the cumulative of production, you will spend more than 25 bips on your broker-wide MSAs and desk rentals. That's just how it works. Now, because I have experienced mortgage bankers on the line, I want to acknowledge that because of individual relationship and reputational relationship, meaning because you personally are inside of a broker-wide MSA or desk rental, or you personally are working the leads through Zillow, Realtor.com, or LendingTree, you could achieve better than that. And I know that for sure, but it's based on relationships. It's because you are gradually nurturing those relationships over time. So you personally create a better return than the 25 bips that we were able to return. But let's talk about scalability now. The Scotsman Guide has proven, Consumer Direct has proven that reputational consistency could augment your performance, but reputational consistency is based on relationships. So you'd have had to already have relationships that you've built relationship consistency in. You would have already had to acknowledge these reputational consistencies that you've built over time with these people, and then your conversion rate could get better. But if you were going to scale it, okay, and I'm going to go off topic or go off script for a moment. If you were looking to scale an enterprise, you could not scale an enterprise for less than 25 bips. I know that because I've done it. And I've done it with the millions and millions of dollar budget, with ISAs. I've done it with realtors. I've done it with mortgage bankers. I've done it with title companies. I've owned and operated my own title companies and real estate brokerage and franchises in my life. And there's no freaking way that you can scale a business for less than 25 bips. I know that for a fact. And if you want to argue with me about it, I will argue with you. I can show you the metrics from Zillow. I can show you the metrics from Realtor.com. I can show you the metrics from LendingTree. I can show you the metrics from 150 broker-wide MSAs. I can show you the desk rental metrics. You will never beat that unless you have relationship-based reputational consistency to augment it, which is very hard to build when you're scaling. What I mean by that is you can't just walk into a New Century 21 and hit better than 25 bips. You can't do it. because you're spending, on Zillow or Realtor.com or LendingTree and broker-wide MSAs, and you're just going to screw the pooch. You're never going to be able to do it. So remember, Realtor, it's referred purchase business. Ooh, a little typo there, dropped it down. Realtor referred purchase business is the highest return on invested time that a mortgage banker can do, bar none. Okay, so if we don't believe that Realtor purchase is the focus of our endeavor together, then we don't work together. Okay, because Realtor purchase kicks the shit out of Zillow, kicks the shit out of Realtor.com, kicks the shit out of LendingTree, kicks the shit out of any other system that I've worked for the last 25 years of my life as a mortgage banker. So grants and assistance augments the reputational consistency, kind of puts some nitrous oxide on the relationship, doesn't it? Because now you have this barb on the hook called down payment assistance and relocation grants, so that the down payment assistance becomes the reputational consistency. Your nitrous oxide boost to your reputation, your relationships, is that there's a grant that they get if they work with you too. So what we're doing is we're pouring gas on a fire called reputational consistency. So you create a muscle memory with that agent based upon, you're the only person I can get that from. You're the only person I can get. Relationship consistency centered around down payment assistance relocation grants. So what we're doing is we're taking the nonprofit vehicle and we're submitting it to your realtors to get them to go out and market themselves and bring these down payment assistance and relocation grant prospects to you. It's not about you trying to work all the essential employees in a county. It's about you trying to certify 40 or 50 realtors in your county that are under your Hero Benefits Network umbrella. And if I didn't explain that to you at the onset of our relationship, I apologize. So here we are in coaching, and we start to look at testimonials and referrals that are coming back from our realtors now. And we're starting to see RE/MAX agents, Keller Williams agents, Sotheby's affinity agents, EXP affinity managers become benefits directors under Hero Benefits Network. So I was a RE/MAX member for many, many years. I was an Exit Realty broker owner for many years. And I also owned and operated my own franchises. And I was a franchise regional director for many years. And what we want to start to say to you is feed your tigers, ride your horses, and kill your dogs. Don't be afraid in 2025 to separate your realtors into 3 categories. Feed your tigers, ride your horses, kill your dogs. If you are able to start to delineate who the producers are in your market, who the buyer's agents are in your market, and who the listing agents are in your market, you're going to learn that the listing agents are the tigers, the buyer's agents are the horses, and the people with no listings and no buyers are the dogs. Well, they're not going to be in business next year, so you don't have to invest any energy in them, okay? They're not going to be in business next year, so you do not have to invest any energy in them. You have to start to look at your realtors as a 3-tiered production metric. My listing agents, top. Those are my lions and my tigers. My realtors that have buyers but no listings, those are my horses. They're going to be good technical realtors. They're going to be good transactional realtors. They're going to be good realtors to go ahead and fulfill the relocation grants and down payment assistance. But my listing agents are my tigers. My buyer's agents are my horses. And the people that are doing less than 6 transactions a year go into an ether that's called institutional only, meaning they get all of our institutional drip shit, but they don't get our attention. They don't get our time. They can come to a certification. They can buy a zip code if they want to. They won't, because they don't know how to sell. And we don't need them. We don't want them. They're going to be out of business in a year. So let's take a quick break here and know that every Monday at 10, we visit with mortgage bankers. Every Tuesday at 10, we visit with title companies. And every Wednesday at 10, we visit with our realtors. You can come to any of the 3. Free certifications are available on demand. and live noon on Wednesdays. Certifications are available and coaching is available at herobenefitsnetwork.org. One last sector to my rah-rah, and that is called Totally Immersion Affinity Bolt-On. A lot of mortgage bankers that I talk to in 2025 are like skittish, or I would call it like selectively committed to affinity. Like they're like, yeah, affinity's cool, but I don't really want to build an affinity program. Well, what we did is we simplified affinity, and then we made it a total immersion affinity, where the MLO becomes a representative of the nonprofit, that the MLO becomes a representative to the realtors from the nonprofit. In other words, they're distinctively identified as a nonprofit mortgage bank that's supporting the Hero Benefits Network. So it's a total immersion relationship. You guys are all using the same marketing materials. You're all approaching the same human resources directors. And it's kind of sort of a division of your company, I would say. So a division of your company, and here's where the metrics come in. Before I show you these metrics, I want to say this. We spent $70,000 a month on Zillow leads last year. Okay. That's $800,000-$900,000 in Zillow leads. We spent $50,000 a month on Realtor at a time. We spent $30,000 on a gross pay-per-click at a time. We converted 34% of our leads to credit pull as a mortgage bank. So we have tremendous experience with lead gen and metrics. We want you to understand this, that I worked for, I think he's a billionaire, I don't know for sure, but I worked for a guy that had a ridiculous amount of money to waste. And I told him, don't do this. This is stupid. I have it in writing. I have a 4-page document. I said, this is really stupid. Don't do this. And he said, no, this is the future of the world, leads. And I said, no, it's not. No, leads are going to suck. You're going to see. They're going to suck over time. He said, no, they're going to be great. And I said, no, here would be better plan. And this is the plan that I'm providing to you. Devin and Russ and you, as a mortgage bank in a particular city, state, or county, can identify 400 realtors through data. Within those 400 realtors that we identify that we want to target, we want at least 25 of them to be team leaders or broker owners. So we call this teamerages now because they're brokerages that run as a team inside of another brokerage. So you're talking about 400 real estate agents that include at least 25 team leaders or broker owners. And our goal is one-dimensional. We don't have like multiple goals in this relationship. We have one goal, and that is to certify 40 realtors in 90 days in your market. And I think that's not only possible, but it's probable and likely. And it ends, December, January, and February ends on March 1st. So if you certified 40 realtor associates in 90 days, you'd wake up on March 1st with 14 real estate referral partners that commit to you within that same 90 days. I want you to know, I've been doing this for a long time. 26 of the realtors, 26 of the realtors that you certify, if you handed them a piece of gum and asked them to walk 100 yards, they wouldn't be able to do both at the same time. So we know that 26 of the 40 will not ever really do anything much. They're just what we call wandering generalities. They're more people that are like retired from a job and don't really do real estate, or their husband is a dentist and they don't really do real estate. You know the type, right? These are the bane of my existence. These are the Achilles heel of the real estate industry. These are the absolute mung, the pond scum of our industry. So we can't get rid of them. All we can do is serve them institutionally, and then really pay attention to our tigers and our horses, which will be 14 real estate referral partners who commit to you at the end of 90 days. And I've done this math for 14 years, okay? It does not. This is the most predictable metric in my life, okay? And here's where the worm turns right here. You're going to grow your production by 4 transactions a month from the spring of 2025 forward. So if we built this around March 1st, and I'm going to tell you this, baby, Barry Habib stood on stage with me in 21 and explained to everybody how interest rates were going to drop to 5s again by March of 22. I was there. And he said it out loud in front of other intelligent people. And I was like, Barry, how can you predict that the mortgage rates are going to be back down in the 5s by March of 22? And he's like, because I know everything about the mortgage business. I said, no, you don't. You're just full of shit. You're pretending to know. Well, I don't have to pretend to know this. I can tell you for sure. If you do 400 realtors in November and you certify 40 realtors between December, January, and February, that by March 1st, you will have 14 realtor referral partners that are committed to you within that 90-day window. And I can tell you that because of a few metrics, interest rate metric being number one, inventory metric being number two, the fact that we're leading with relocation grants, which are listing-centered tools. We're not leading with buyer leads. We're leading with listing-centered tools to find people who are retiring as essential employees or taking new jobs as essential employees that need to sell or buy a house. And Mike Ferry taught me this 30 years ago. Don't work with people who want to sell a house. Work with people who need to sell a house. And then you're going to move the transaction volume. So 4 transactions per month from the spring moving forward is my promise. And then once your zip code is productive and you're doing 4 transactions a month, which in this market is about 1.2, 1.4 million a month, then we can start to look at going ahead and expanding zip codes through these entrepreneurial seizures that mortgage bankers have. All we're asking you to do, get certified before Thanksgiving. If you're already certified, turn to Devin and say, hey, how can we host our first realtor-facing event in December of 2024? How can I get more realtors to show up on Wednesdays, just to take a peek at what you guys are doing? How can I get more realtors to show up on Wednesdays at noon to get certified for free? How can I get more realtors to sit down and talk to me about the HeroBenefitsNetwork.org? And one last time, your reputational consistency, the relationship reputational consistency will be the elixir for long-term sustainable relationships, right? Grants and down payment assistance are not the cement that forges your relationship to these realtors and title companies, right? It's your reputational consistency and that you differentiate yourself in the hearts and minds of those realtors over time. All right, Devin, I'm going to open up to questions, concerns, or thoughts, and you can either stop the recording or we'll see if anything useful comes out of it. But I think I covered everything I promised to cover today. Devin, did I forget anything at all?
No, I think you covered everything. So Russ, thanks for that. Before we all hop off, does anybody have any questions or concerns? Okay, Russ, I think you left them speechless.
Well, I think the metric speaks for itself. If together, Devin, you and I can work with, let's say, Sherry or Joyce or Bernice, actually, who's been frustrated a lot, and we could say, hey, are we willing to work together on 400 real estate agents? Mm-hmm. Yes. Are we willing to certify at least 40 of those real estate agents during 2025? And do we think that 14 of them are going to come along for the ride? And I think the answer is yes. So if that doesn't equal 4 transactions a month by the end of the 12 weeks, I'd be eating a lot of crow.
Well, thank you so much, Russ.
Yep. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.